Welcome back. On the show today, I've got a lovely young lady, Graced Bimpe, who's been sharing her story regarding her challenges that she's had from a very young age. Thank you for all you've been sharing with us so far. I wanted to ask, so at a very early age, you've had to take on the responsibility of a mother to your siblings. How did you manage that? Because that would have put a hold on some of the things you would have had to do, like partying and being an 18-year-old. Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess there was nothing you could do about it. It just had to be done. When I did not get the grades, but I finally got into a uni, and I did go into a uni far away from the house, and I wanted to just leave everything, run out and go, but I couldn't do that because I had my siblings. Even though I actually wanted it, my mom, family and friends around actually said, you can't do that. You have people around. So it was a tough decision, but I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I had to go to uni in London and be a day student, come back. It was really far. I had to get a job. So it was a lot of responsibilities. But it was just a thing of, you just had to get it done. And even growing up, my siblings were teenagers. I was a teenager.
Exactly, 18, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Like being a mom at 18.
Absolutely.
You know, to grown-ups, not babies.
Exactly. Like you're not even growing up with them. They're already used to being rude to you, so why not? Yeah. So it was always that struggle. And then my brother would always say, we had the power struggle in the house. Who would you respect? Who would you listen to? Like, don't talk to me like that. Like, so it was different dynamics. But as the years went by, we understood each other better. We had to grow together, and it just all just developed.
And balancing this between your education and school,
it was really hard because, like I said, I am not a school person, so I'd rather be in the house than in school. But my siblings actually always said, Grace, you have school today. You're going to school. They always make sure I went to uni. Absolutely. Anytime I stayed back, they would always check up on me. Are you okay? Do you want us to calm down? So they were always there. We support each other very well.
In terms of family and friends, what kind of support did you get?
We got loads, actually.
From friends and family.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, which, you know, and I know that people might mean well, as much as people would, but really, I know people say, we'll help you, we'll look after you, we'll be there for you, especially when it just helps us. But really, did you really get that kind of support that you were expecting?
I would say we did. Not expecting because, like I said, we were kids. My older brother was 21, I was 18, my younger ones were just younger ones. So we were expecting another mother or another father. That was it. Because what we were promised was, call me anytime, I'll be there. But you wouldn't, because you have your own kids, you have your own life. If anything happened, you would go to your kids before you come to us. And we had to go through the heartbreak of actually getting used to that and having to understand that it's life, it happens. God's your father now, God's your mother now. No, they would not always be there, but you can always count on him. So it was really hard but people were always still there. They did the most that they could do because we're all human, and we learnt that as well. You will make mistakes. You will make mistakes. So it was hard, but people did help in their own way. Absolutely.
And I remember you saying that no matter how people want to, you know, they can never.
They just can't. They can't feel that void. And that's the painful part. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
In terms of emotions and managing emotions with you yourself, your siblings. How were you able to handle that? Because you were mom now, so it was you that they came to, basically. You know,
that was really hard because personality-wise, I could be a nagger and I could be smudging in a way. So I feel like for the first 3 years, because it was just us in the house, I had to just have this role. So in a way, I was used to them depending on me for so many things. So even the past 2 years when they've all grown up and they're doing their own thing, it's really hard because I'm used to them saying, Grace, can I do this? Grace, I want this. So now they're just like, I don't need your help. And I'm like, you need my help. I need you to need my help. So it was really hard because now I'm having to like live my own life, but it's still really hard. But emotion-wise, I feel like because my mom passed away, we all had to find our dealing with our emotions or dealing with the whole thing outside of each other. So it was really hard for us to just come together and say, this is what I'm dealing, because I don't want you to cry. You don't want me to cry, so you won't tell me what you're feeling. So it was really hard, but we just had to like, we were very angry and always fighting like siblings too, but we got through it and now we're just more mature kids.
More matured kids.
Absolutely.
And with your dad coming to the picture, how was that for you?
I feel like we're all still dealing with that. Like I said, we're all individuals. When there were siblings, we're all individuals, and everyone's dealing with that differently. For me personally, I wasn't really too keen on it, but it was when I actually had to graduate and I realized that I need my father to be there. I need someone who needs to be there, who actually has no reason but to be there. Every other person will come to support you because they know your mom and stuff. But my dad was
that's even if
there.
they can come.
Absolutely.
You know, if they can come.
Yeah, but my dad was there because he gave it to me. That doesn't have any responsibility. You have to be there. So it was really hard, but I feel like in a way, you had to go through the emotions, the pain, the cry, the tears. He was awkward. I was absolutely. And sometimes you can't even say what you're feeling. But I feel like we're all just trying to just pick up the pieces and just see what we have. And with God, absolutely, because I don't think we'd have been able to make it without God. Because there was one my brother said to us one day, and he said, God forgave you for everything you did. If you don't open your heart to someone else who has hurt you in one way, you won't be able to move on. And he just said it because you're being bitter and you're just hating. So you just need to just open your heart and see what happens. And that was what, well, we did. And
it's helped
getting
you
better.
guys.
Yeah.
In terms of your relationship with God in church, you sing in church, was that like heaven for you? How do you still see that now? Or do you still feel like, yeah, being told to do it, I'm doing it because I'm being told to do it?
Not really, because my mom started a church in Nigeria. I was always singing there, but that was because I was being told to do it. Okay. But I feel like when you sing, you're more in tune with God. You actually know what you're saying. You're actually in there. You develop, and you just know what you're in. So I feel like singing in church just made me more committed to church, more committed to people of God. I heard the word all the time. I was interested in things about God because I was in that environment. But it was hard because sometimes you want to not want to be a Christian person. You want to just, I'm very cool. I'm still a cool person because I was known as the girl who was just being like a mother. But like, I want to be the cool person. But I feel like now I'm more in tune with it, and it's something I would always choose my first choice before anything.
Very good. Well, thank you for that. When we met the first time, there was a question you asked me.
Absolutely.
And I thought we should explore that question.
Okay.
You did look at my ring and you asked me how long I'd been married for. I told you I'd been married for 19 years. And I did ask you, where did that question, because there must have been a reason for that question. Can you share with us what you said was the reason?
That day what I said was that I'm used to seeing people who are just single, divorced, and not having that relationship, especially at that age. It just doesn't happen to me, and that's what I've been surrounded by. And I kind of had the mindset of you get married, you're in love, and then it just goes away. Everybody finds their separate ways, which is not good. So seeing that, so I was like, are you actually married, or is it like a thing? You're like, I'm married, and I was like, oh, amazing. But yeah, absolutely, that was it, and which was what you said as well, inspired me to just be like, it's possible. It's true struggles, it's true differences, but it's possible.
And for me, after you asked me that question, one of the things that came to my mind is, there's some things we take for granted.
Absolutely.
And I wear this ring, and I just assume that every other person sees marriage as it's onkidori, it's normal, it's,
Yeah.
And when you asked me that question, for me, it was very profound because it got me thinking, and it also got me to appreciate, what God has been able to do in my marriage. In terms of, and I would ask you where you are now in terms of your views of marriage, because I was able to share with you that yes, it's a give and take thing. It's a beautiful thing to be married, especially if it's a God-led marriage and you allow the Holy Spirit to walk through both parties. So in terms of what we were able to share, I know it can't just happen like that, because it's a mindset that you've had for quite a while.
Absolutely.
Where are you now in terms of your thoughts about marriage and relationships? Yeah,
absolutely, because I told you that day, I was like, relationship-wise, and we were just like, I don't want to know. But now after having that conversation with you, I'm more open about it. I also understood that we all have differences. The way I see you is the way you see me. If I'm thinking, what is he doing? You thinking, what's she doing as well? We're all human, and we just have those different dynamics. And I feel like we just have to give ourselves spaces to be human, not be a man and be a woman, don't be all masculine and be all emotionless, but like, be a human and just let me see you for who you are, see me for who I am. And it will take time, because even normal relationships take time.
I was just going to say that. Even relationships with God takes time. It's the
So
more you grow, the more you
Absolutely.
find yourself in your relationship with Him. So looking at some of the things you do, I know you project manage, and I also know that you're a very dynamic young woman, if I may say so. Because I know you're also in business. You're looking to tell us a bit about that as we round up.
Okay, I'm a project manager, and I also want to dabble into a bit of business consulting because I like to. Well, my dream is to help start businesses, just help them operate, grow, and just be a business. I like to do that because I feel like in Africa we don't really have that. So I like to use that inspiration and just absolutely, I really like businesses, so I really enjoy that. So I think that's something I want to go into as well. But creative wise, like my mom, I dabble into everything. So currently, I don't have anything on, sadly, but I'm going into bridal wears. I like to go into furniture. I'm a very creative person. I just like to explore that and just see what happens.
And I've seen your pieces because you do jewelry.
Yes,
absolutely lovely pieces that you do. I've seen them.
Thank you.
Well, very well done, Grace. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
I know what you've shared with us is very sensitive. It's something that I know, and I know you absolutely adored your mom. And you had a 5 years memorial of recent for her.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, excellent. And I know wherever she is, she's very proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, very dynamic young woman.
Thank you.
And I hope viewers have heard us today, whatever stage of their life, whatever stage their stories, they would be able to pick up something that would inspire and encourage them. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Next week on Story Before Glory.
I believe God said I should build a school for poor children. I think she must have been about 80 years old. Her name is Mary. Is it because of you that I've been doing the wahala I've been doing?